Hello engineers, and welcome back to another episode of Automate It, where we are going for 5 stars. We're up to World 4, Level 3 now, Barrels of Astral Ice and Fire. This is a Game of Thrones reference, isn't it? We're going for 5 stars, so let's get into it. Only 6 people have completed a solution on this level. I feel like no one's gotten past World 3 yet, and this has been maybe the 2nd week of the game's release. This map is absolutely massive. Good and a bad thing. What are we trying to deliver? 60 barrels of astral shadow in 3 minutes. So that means we need to deliver at 20 per minute. This thing only makes 10 per minute, and it's a storage packing machine. So one overclocked one would be enough? No, because we're trying to do 2 minutes 30. So we would need 2 overclocked of these. I want to go with we need 3 of these, because look how big the map is. Say it takes a minute for our machine to wear up. Typically our machine takes about a minute to wear up, right? That means we only have a minute 30 to deliver 60. So we need to make like 30 per minute. And in a minute 30 we can deliver... That doesn't even make sense. We need to overclock this and then make 3 of these. That way we can deliver 60 per minute. Given it takes a minute to do this, oh man. Alright, let's just get started and we'll see what volume we can deliver everything in. It looks like there's a very complex solution over here. If you see this. To make compressed astral shadow, we need all this crazy nonsense. But the final output is a liquid that goes into a storage packer with the gas barrel. Let's see what different methods we have to make some of these subcomponents. We have no choice for the final product. We have no choice for this. We definitely need to make these 3 bits. Over here, we've got choices to make this. This looks a lot easier than this, but we need 120 per minute. They both make 60 per minute. This is like 3 solids and 2 liquids into a dissolution chamber. This is just 3 solids and 1 liquid. What liquids do we have available in our game? All I see is oil, honestly. So to make sulfuric acid, we need water and biomass. So we do have water. If we don't have biomass, that automatically rules out. No, we do have biomass as well. Okay. So we can definitely make sulfuric acid ourselves. What's the alternative? The alternative is sulfuric acid plus liquid hydrofluoric acid. And why is that better? Trying to study like why I would do this with the liquid hydrofluoric acid. So we need 120 of this, 120 of this. So we need 2 manufacturers making this. But if I introduce the liquid hydrofluoric acid, I only need 1 manufacturer making this, which will be that part a lot easier. But do I need this liquid hydrofluoric acid for anything else? Not really, but I'm already making the sulfuric acid. So if I take the sulfuric acid I'm making, process it in an extra dissolution chamber and biofluxer, then it saves me from 2 manufacturers with 3 inputs each. Everything else remains the same. To make reinforced concrete. Let's see if we have some of these materials around. Or it's just given us all base materials. We've been given steel already. Does that help us? Not really. Let's have a look at this thing. This plastic thing we're already familiar with. We got to process a lot of liquids. There's no other way to make this. And then this thing, we have a few different ways to make this. We probably want the advanced press doing this. 2 advanced presses doing this. 30 becomes 60. Yeah. Then we would probably want... Do we want this? We need 2 welders. Or 1 dissolution chamber. Or we can do this thing, which just needs this. That's the only aluminum we need. No other aluminum up here. This thing's already given us steel plus oil. This thing should be super easy to make. Bitumen. So I'm not going to worry about that top bit. Let's just worry about the stuff down the bottom. Alright. I guess we'll just start from the bottom. We need aluminum. We'll put together the different components. And then we'll see how we go. So this needs to be done at 120 per minute. So all of this needs to be doubled. To make the 60 per minute for this. Is there a thing that... No, that's even worse because that's 2 welders. So I'm definitely sticking to this. 2 advanced furnaces. So we've got an advanced furnace, split it. We would probably put this aluminum bars down the middle, or actually that, and then the aluminum bars down the side. Because once we overclock it, this becomes 240. So the press goes here, and the press goes here, and the cutters go here. Probably the cutters go here and here, and that goes here. And now we just need the aluminum in. Into the cutters, we need 240 aluminum, 480 aluminum. They need to go in as separate belts. Otherwise, we have to put them through advanced cutters. Because once we overclock all this, we're going to have issues. I'm going to just do this all overclocked because we know we're going to have to overclock the entire thing at the end of the day. So we'll just overclock this straight away now. I don't like doing things overclocked because it makes things hard to calculate. But actually, a single press doubles our input. Hold on, let me just do it not overclocked for a second. I think I've done this wrong. If a single press just sorts this out, because a single press takes in 60, turns it into 120, or turns it into 240 once overclocked, which will supply both. Yeah, a single press will supply both, right? No. So confusing. Let's just do it not overclocked first, and then we'll go and sort it out. Where is the aluminum, though? We've got 360, which is exactly what we need, 180 times 2. That means we don't even have enough aluminum to make all this. We can't overclock the whole machine at the end. We can only make 1 iteration of this. Yeah. That's fine then. We'll just do 1 iteration of this and overclock it. That makes it so much easier. Because this becomes a liquid at the end of the day, so we don't need to overclock everything again, right? So if we split this like that, no, we'll just do it like, say, here for now. We can just put a 3-way splitter. Doesn't really matter anymore. No, we just put it there. That saves us some space. Overclock that, overclock that, overclock that. That gets our 120 that we need. Then we need to mix it with 240 of this pink crystal, which is... Of course it's on the other side of the map. Why would it be anywhere close to where we need it? But then we're going to have to mix it with this purple crystal, which is going to need to go through advanced presses. We're going to need 120 of that. So we're going to need to put it into an overclocked welder, and it's going to need 60, which makes 120 of this. Okay. Get our advanced presses in. We'll just do something like this. That gets us our 60 and our 60, which is our 120. But we need to overclock both of these to get the 240 that we need. And then they need to go into an overclocked welder. So we put in 1 welder, say here. Like that. We'll overclock our welder as well. Now the other side of the welder needs to come from this, which is 60, which is just 1 welder's worth. So probably better we do something like this. Then we can put another welder right here. And into this welder goes the pink crystal, as well as this thing. So the pink crystal's coming from here. We would need to run a path like this. And then we need to put an elevator somewhere. Might as well just put it straight on for now. And run that there. So we need to run that. We need to overclock this. And then we need to bring our 120 into here. Like that. There's our very first system. Now this thing isn't getting enough pink crystal. Now we're getting the 120 that we need. That's fantastic. We definitely need to overclock this, right? Because that gets us the 120 that we need. We definitely need to overclock this, otherwise it's not enough. And we definitely need to overclock this because otherwise that's not enough. Great. So that's our first system over here done. At the end of the day, all this stuff needs to go into a manufacturer somewhere, but we can figure out where to put that manufacturer once we've done the other 3 components. The other component being something near the plastic. So where's my plastic? My plastic is up here. So we want to make this liquid, which is just salt water. There's the salt. There's the water. Now we know we can teleport stuff around, and then we can make it into pipes later. So just for simplicity, I will just put the teleporties for now because they're easier to deal with. So that gets water in, and we'll connect it to the red network. And then we'll just put the water next to the salt, and we'll connect that to the red network too. Then our output can be water. Then we can put it into a dissolution chamber, and we can make salt water. Like this. But if we put this here like that, we can get that a little bit closer because I feel like we're going to run out of space eventually. Does that make me salt water? It does. It works. Quantum teleporters for the win. Might as well put it on this side. Now we need to put that into a biofluxer. We can put the biofluxer here, like that. Flip this as well. That gets us our hydrogen. I keep forgetting what this is called. The chloride into another biofluxer. The gas goes in the gas by going down, and that mixes with the plastic, which is over here. Now we need to make double this, so it's 2 dissolution chambers. So we can split it here, for example. Chuck it into 2 dissolution chambers. There's your plastic. Or we can just overclock 1, which seems a lot easier. Now we need to get this liquid up, and we might just do this via pipe. So we'll go around the side, and we'll figure out somewhere to join these 2 pipes. Looks like it needs to go down somewhere. Or this needs to go further up and join like that. And there's your 60, but I should be able to just clock that to 120. So that's 2 materials down. Now our third material is a little bit more complex because we need to make all of these components in a dissolution chamber at 120. So whatever happens, it needs to double. So let's go ahead and make this thing first. So that's the water, and our biomass is all the way over here. So we should be able to do the little teleporty thing again and do something like that. These are actually 2 different dissolution chambers. So the water needs to be chemically infused to make steam. So we'll chuck a chemical infuser over here. And that's working already. That's already making steam. This needs to go into a dissolution chamber. Like this. To make sulfur dioxide, which needs to be put into a chemical infuser. Now, what's the cleanest way of doing this? This is the final output. Can we just borrow some room from over here? Chemical infusers are absolutely massive. But if we did that, that should work. Get a gas pipe running up and in. Cut the bottom part. Oh. Cut this part of it. Flip this. That way we can just go straight up. That makes the orange chemical, sulfur trioxide. And now we need to mix it with the steam again in another chemical infuser. Now the way we did this last time, I remember, was nice and clean. We kind of had 3 chemical infusers back to back somehow. But it doesn't really matter. Let's just put this here for now. If we need to clean up this area, we can. Alright, let me just quickly do it properly. Now that's how I did it last time, just having 3 side by side. Now this probably isn't the best place for it, but we can turn this however we like at some point. Point being, we've gotten our sulfuric acid. Now we've picked the wrong material for this because we don't want to do it with this thing, we want to do it with this thing, right? This thing's fine, honestly. We can just overclock the manufacturer. Nah, then we need 2 manufacturers for this. We just take the extra step and get another dissolution chamber and biofluxer. And mix it with the green thing, this thing. So in a dissolution chamber, we need this thing and sulfuric acid. So bring that out, over, and down. And then we need a biofluxer. Should be able to put it here. Is it a liquid? No, it's a gas. Gas, unfortunately, I think you always need a space. Like that. So now we have that and this yellow, the sulfuric acid as well as liquid hydrofluoric acid. We can very easily do this. We just need to cut some iron into iron pipes. The iron's down here. Is there any other iron? Of course there's not. So there's our 2 liquids. The iron's over here. The other bits for this are wood, stone, and iron. But wood is over here. Where's the stone? This has given us glass. Glass is useless. Wood, stone, and iron are all over here, so it would make sense to put our 1 manufacturer somewhere here. That gives the most even travel time for the iron. And they're all 60, 60, 60. So for example, this can come straight out this way. If I get a snapping point, we can do that. And that. There's my iron and my wood. I mean my stone. We can do something like this. Get the stone in like that. And that's 1 input. Our other one is cut iron. We need so many of these. 1 cutter takes 60 and makes 60. But we need 120 of this. So we actually need to cut the stone. But since we need 120 of it, we need to cut it twice. Because we're going to overclock this. So if we did this, we're going to need to use all of this. Get 2 cutters. And get that in. Overclock these cutters. Deliver this at 240. That's all our cut stone. For our furnace iron, we only need 2 furnaces. So something like this. Overclock these. There's your 240. Wait. We only need 1 overclocked furnace. We might need the iron for other stuff, but that's fine. Well, we'll just put our lift right here. Then we'll link these lifts, and that gets our 120 iron. And now we just need to deliver the 120 coal, which we have to use this for. So we'll get another furnace that way. And then we'll bring it in like this. And we should be able to bring it into the manufacturer like this. And we probably need to overclock that and overclock that. Now we're delivering 120 of this. No, we're not, because we don't have enough other stuff. We'll upgrade that and that. What else are we missing? We're missing the coal. We only have 60. Wait, is there more wood somewhere? How does this work? What? Is there an alternate recipe for this that doesn't use wood? Because the 60 wood becomes 100 and... Oh, we have to do this process. So we have to turn the 60 wood into 120 planks with the advanced cutter. And that way it'll get us our 120 of this. Right? Yeah. We have to do it this crazy way. Okay, that's fine. We're wondering why there was an alternate recipe like this. So we've got to really make our wood work for us. So using an advanced cutter, we now make 120 planks. And then we need to put that through a overclocked furnace. If we overclock this, that goes to 240. We don't even need to overclock it. We just need a normal furnace. That'll turn it into 120. This is wrong. Oh no, 60 turns into 120. So we don't need an advanced cutter. We just need a regular cutter. Like this. Because we just need 120 into here, which will be enough to make 120 output, which is fantastic. Now we need to turn this into iron rods. So let's move this up a little bit. Like that. And an overclocked cutter should make me 240 of these. We've got our 120 of these. We've got our sulfuric acid. And our glass is right here. We just need to put it all through a dissolution chamber. Bit hard to get everything up there though. Just trying to find the best way. 1, 2, 3. I want to go like this then. That way we can just do that. We do need 240 glass. Because we're going to overclock the dissolution chamber. We do need this. Can we maybe move this a little bit better? Like this potentially. That way we can just go like that. Because this doesn't matter. We can do that. These don't care either. Because we can just do like... Well, this one can go in like that. This one can go in like that. Upgrade this again. Get this in. And there's your 120. There's your 240 of that. That's 2 of the materials. Now we just need to get this cut material in. So we should be able to force a belt in like this. A little bit of crisscrossies happening here, but if we just go under first. Like this. Then go up here. Then go out over here. That should give us what we need by upgrading all of this. And now this thing should have 240 of the iron pipe. We've got 120 of the reinforced concrete. And we've got 120 of the glass. 240 of the glass. Perfect. So we've got all our solids. Now we just need to pipe in our 2 liquids. And our liquids are here and here. So let's just do a dirty pipe first. A dirty pipe being just this. And that going into the ceiling. And then connecting these somehow. Like that. That's 1 liquid in. Our second liquid's gonna come out of here. So probably it makes more sense to do that. And then get that up here. And then go around like that. So we can cut this, and do that. Now we're making 120 of this, which supports 1 of these. So it goes into a manufacturer. We haven't made any of this stuff, right? This is our 120 of that. This is our 120 of that. We haven't made this yet. Didn't we make the plastic somewhere? Our 120 plastic. All of that goes into a manufacturer. So if I did something like this, we can get that one in there. We can get a lift. Like that. Get that one in there. Why does it hate this? We want it like that. And then it's just missing this plastic, which can just come in like this and into a lift. About there. And hopefully that will be okay. That gets our thing out. However, oh, that would have been really good, except there's no output for it. So we'd want it like this. Still works the same way. Get the lift over here, like that. And then get a lift over here, like that. Connect that up. Like that. And that gets our 60 per minute of that, which goes into a dissolution chamber, which would have fit really nicely, perfectly here if I had space. Like that. This liquid needs to go into a biofluxer to make compressed astral shadow. And then this liquid is then going to go into a advanced furnace. So it makes sense for it to go up over here into a biofluxer. So we should be able to pipe this over and then up. Get that out to there. And there's our compressed astral shadow. That's the last bit of this. Now, up the top, we need to mix that with as much gas barrel as possible to get this thing out into this bottom corner. Fun. How are we doing on power? We've used up like 2,000 power doing this, but we've done most of the work. The gas barrel thing is a solid material. So if we make it out of this thing, and what is this? This is just oil into that. And this stuff, which we have the thing that we can cut here. Let's just do one first. So there's our 120. That'll support into 2 advanced furnaces. Oh man, advanced furnaces are absolutely massive. Can't put it on the edge over here. If we chuck in 2 advanced furnaces like this, there's not enough room for this thing to maneuver into it. If we move this over 1, that should help us out. Like that. Then we can move this over by 1. Move this over by 1. And then we can cut this here. Oh, there still needs to be a cutter. All right. You know what? Let's turn the advanced furnace this way. Because whatever material we make over there is going to come from the other side of the world. Unless we bring the liquid over here somewhere. And then dissolution chamber it here. Which is probably the smart thing to do. I'm only going to leave 1 unit of space over here. So we'll do that. Get the cutter going there. And then we'll get that around to there. Probably better to put our dissolution chamber here. Like that. That way we just make the oil into here. This stupid belt needs to move a little bit out of the way of the oil. This oil needs to come up here and we just pass it wherever this thing wants to pass. Like here. And then around here. Now at some point, the quantum teleporter is going to be more efficient than the pipe. But at the moment, that gets our 60. And then that splits 30-30 into this, which gets this. Now, we need to get the cutters in. So we'll put a cutter here and a cutter here. Or is it just better to cut it here and then split it? Like this. So we'll do that. Now we've got 60-60. We can pump this with more if we want to, but let's just go for now. 60-60, 10 per minute into storage packing with this. Because storage packing is the biggest building in existence, right? So let's just bring this belt of 60 into one storage packer. And then we're gonna figure out where to move everything later. Fortunately, my compressed astral shadow's right here. My god, it won't let me connect these two cleanly. Whatever, that'll do. So this thing has that and no compressed shadow. Why? Oh, this is a gas, my bad. Even easier. Now this thing makes 10 per minute. We can overclock it to 20 per minute. Now if we just put a second one of these, say here, that would be perfect. Now can we move this stuff maybe somewhere else? It doesn't fit this way. But if I move this a little bit out of the way, say here, and we just belted this in and connected the pipe there, I'm just wondering if I can maybe maneuver this somewhere and then put a second one like here. Then I can belt it in like this. No, we need a splitter at some point. Like that. And then if we get our gas pipe in now, we can flip this. Why can't this thing flip? Yeah, we can flip this. That way the gas pipe comes together, goes over here, and then comes down like that. What are we missing? The solid input. So we do that. Now we're making 20 and 20. If only I can shift this all back one tile. Which I can. Like that. Then we can get the output of this and belt it around and out. That's a solution. We're under power, but how do we do on time? I don't think this is the solution. I think we need to do more of this. Because this is only making 40 per minute. Alright, this thing just kicked off. That thing just kicked off. So we started it quite slow. We've made 9. We've still got a minute. And yeah, it's very, very slow. But we'll see how far off we are. Got a solution at least. 2 minutes, 37 seconds. So we've got plenty of power to play with. Can we shave 7 seconds off the starting point? So we can see this thing pretty much starts instantly. So that's already hit it. What is slow about this liquid? This thing hasn't started. Because it's missing the green thing. Now it's kicked off. I think it's this green thing. Let me run that back. This is the slow part. So the green thing just hit it now. Nope, it's this thing. So we're good on the green, we're good on that. This thing hasn't kicked off. So let's figure out why this thing isn't kicking off. Can barely see. Let's run that back. So we've got one input. This second input has just arrived, and that third input's already there. So it's this thing that's the slowest part. So let's just try to upgrade this belt. And let's just run that back. No. When this thing arrives, it stops because this thing is slow. So this is the slowest belt. But if we upgrade both of these belts, are we still under power? Yeah, we're still way under power. And that'll kick that off a lot faster. Because then the coal arrives. And now this thing goes. And now this thing goes. And this thing goes. Let's see if that shaved 7 seconds off. I'm sure it shaved some seconds off, but not sure if it shaved 7 seconds off. Nice. I think it did it. Nice. That shaved 7 seconds off. People have done it in 1:30. Wow. So I've used just a super inefficient solution. They made 3 packages. How have they done this, like, with nothing? This is all very similar to me. They've processed all their stuff over this side, leaving plenty of room on this side. Yeah, okay, that's just a much cleaner solution. I've overcomplicated everything, it seems. Sure. But we got our 5 stars anyway. This was quite a forgiving level, so we'll leave it here for this episode. I got literally the worst solution out of everyone that's made a solution from this. Although I've done it in the least amount of power. That's hilarious. Alright, cool. We'll leave it there.